So, listen to this. Jamie Vardy's story is no miracle. After learning damn near everything I possibly could about him, I'm convinced the main reason why he only managed to go pro at 25 years of age was self-doubt, self-destruction, self-sabotage, wherever you want to call it. Even when he was back in the 7th tier, people were already trying to set him straight, telling him that he could play for England one day, but he never believed them. Instead, he seemingly kept doing everything in his power to destroy any chance he had of making it. From getting wasted every single day to getting slashed across the face in a bar fight, landing himself in jail, being put on house arrest, even playing with an ankle monitor and almost quitting football entirely on more than one occasion. You name it. If it was a horrible idea, he probably did it. As he said in his autobiography, Balotelli would have been proud of me, but really, I think even good old Mario would have been worried for him.
We'll be here next year?
No, I'm signing for Ibiza Town. I'm going to Ibiza on holiday and I'm never coming back.
Even once he got to Leicester, he was still arriving at training, stinking of booze. He was going down the rabbit hole for nearly a decade before he set himself straight, and once he did, well, do you want me to list some of his records? By 2020, Guardiola's Man City had only allowed someone to put a hat-trick past him on 3 occasions. One was Lionel Messi, the other 2 were Jamie Vardy. In fact, at one point across the entire history of the Premier League, only Rooney and Shearer had more goals against the top 6 than him. He literally reached 100 Premier League goals faster than Ronaldo, Rooney, and Drogba, and in the past 10 years, no English player has ranked higher in the Ballon d'Or than Jamie Vardy. And this isn't new. No matter if he was in the 7th, 5th, or 2nd tier, he broke records everywhere he went. And you know what made him so special? Well, he wasn't made in a lab. It wasn't some robotic wonder kid who's been carefully curated in some high-tech academy. In a way, it was the fact that he lost himself completely that made him so special, so tough, so unpredictable. As Arsene Wenger once said, the kind of player that runs to a stone wall to score goals, they're not here, and not anymore. But Jamie Vardy, he was always that guy. Even as a kid he was a menace, but he was also outstanding at anything sports related. He literally held the record for the longest Javelin throw in school for years. He didn't even train for that. He just strided one day and broke the record. So, don't get it wrong, Vardy was well aware that he was a bit of a prodigy. Ever since he was a kid, his biggest dream was to be the next David Hirst and bring back the glory days with their Sheffield Wednesday. But just as everything seemed to be going great, the club had to get rid of one of their academy levels as a way to cut some costs, and in the middle of all that mess, a lot of players were released, and Vardy just happened to be one of them. But well, even though the managers encouraged him to find somewhere else to play and tried to explain to him that he was just on the receiving end of a massive butterfly effect, he convinced himself that it was all his fault, that he just wasn't good enough, and though unsure a lifetime of being the troubled kid didn't help with his self-belief, he took it way too far. He just quit. 8 months went by before he put on a pair of cleats again, and even then, it was like he was so afraid of failing that he refused to even try. Instead of finding a proper club, he began representing a local pub's football team at the request of one of his friends. It was just ridiculous.
When we talk about Barcelona, we talk about titles, goals, beautiful play, Guardiola, Xavi, Iniesta, Suarez, Tiki-Taka, the Camp Nou, the fans, Messi, 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 Messi. However, before this successful dynasty, there was a tough period for the Catalan club, a period full of challenges.
Io non estic enfrontat amb el senyor Cruyff.
How you found your own Cruyff? Jo me foi. Felicidades.
After 2 years without a title and what's left of the dream team, Johan Cruyff was sacked before the last match of the season after the Dutchman's tense relationship with club president Josep Nunez, which has become irreparable after months and months of rumors about the possibility of Bobby Robson taking over the team. The way in which Cruyff was sacked after all he's done for the club was cruel, as Nunez didn't have the guts to do it himself, as he sent his vice president Gaspar to send the message to the Dutchman at the training facility, which ended up being an ugly affair. And so, after 8 years of service, the longest tenured manager in Barcelona history left from the back door. In came the ex-England manager to a difficult situation in Barcelona, as Bobby was in the middle of a political and football war, and he'll take over after a legend.
I follow a legend.
The board saw Bobby as a bridge between Cruyff and Van Gaal, who'll take over in the following season. But the Englishman was not aware of that, and expectations were not high for the season, and he was destined for failure. The club brought in Ronaldo from PSV Eindhoven in a record-breaking transfer as he took his first big step towards being a superstar at just 19 years of age. Bobby insisted on bringing his assistant and right-hand man Jose Mourinho to Barcelona, but the team managed to enter a rough patch in March, but managed to turn around the season after a historic remontada in the second leg of the Copa del Rey quarter-finals against Atletico Madrid, where the Rojiblancos scored 3 goals in the first half at the Camp Nou to make the aggregate score 5-2, as the fans showed their disapproval in a traditional manner. And the word was that the board had decided on the Englishman's fate at that moment, as Van Gaal was looking on from the stands, if not for a historical second half.
L'assistència per Stoichkov a la mitja volta, el rebot per Ronaldo que remata i gol, 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 gol. Sergi remata tal com ve, rematada i gol, 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 gol. Marcat Pantic, ja marcat Pantic. Interior, refús defensiu, recupera Figo, remata amb el peu dret, gol, 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 gol. Assistència per Ronaldo, entra l'àrea.
These are the richest footballers in the world. In 5th place is Kylian Mbappé, with an estimated net worth of 200 million euros. He is only 25 years old, and most of his money was earned at PSG. However, now at Real Madrid, he will earn even more thanks to his salary, bonuses, and endorsements. Neymar Jr. is in 4th place, with a fortune estimated at 300 million euros. He has always been one of the highest paid players in the world, thanks to his contracts with Barcelona, PSG, Al Hilal, and sports brands like Nike and Puma. In 3rd place is David Beckham. Despite being retired, he has a fortune exceeding 500 million euros due to his endorsements with major brands, and being one of the owners of Inter Miami. In 2nd place is Lionel Messi, with an estimated net worth of 800 million euros, which will continue to grow exponentially thanks to all the business ventures he has undertaken since arriving at Inter Miami. In 1st place is Cristiano Ronaldo, who long ago surpassed 1 billion euros and is on track to reach 2 billion thanks to his contract in Saudi Arabia.
Why does Cristiano Ronaldo never grow a beard? The reason will surprise you. No matter the year, in any image of Ronaldo you look up, you'll see him clean-shaven. Here's the reason. Everyone thought it was due to genetics, that Cristiano didn't have facial hair like other men. But in an interview, he revealed that he can't let his beard grow. Many years ago, and you probably don't remember, he grew a beard because of a bet he made with Quaresma on the national team. That day, he was shaving as usual, but his teammate Ricardo Quaresma dared him to keep the beard until the World Cup. That's when Cristiano Ronaldo surprised us with his new look. But we'll never see him like that again. It was the first and only time you'd see him this way. Although many believe the real reason is to maintain a clean and impeccable image, just like he does with his body, as he hasn't gotten any tattoos and probably never will. Also, not having a beard makes him look younger. Either way, with or without a beard, Cristiano looks gorgeous.
School for years. He didn't even train for that. It just strided one day and broke the records. So, don't get it wrong, Vardy was well aware that he was a bit of a prodigy. Ever since he was a kid, his biggest dream was to be the next David Hirst and bring back the glory days with their Sheffield Wednesday. But just as everything seemed to be going great, the club had to get rid of one of their academy levels as a way to cut some costs, and in the middle of all that mess, a lot of players were released, and Vardy just happened to be one of them. But well, even though the managers encouraged him to find somewhere else to play and tried to explain to him that he was just on the receiving end of a massive butterfly effect, he convinced himself that it was all his fault, that he just wasn't good enough, and though unsure a lifetime of being the troubled kid didn't help with his self-belief, he took it way too far. He just quit. 8 months went by before he put on a pair of cleats again, and even then, it was like he was so afraid of failing that he refused to even try. Instead of finding a proper club, he began representing a local pub's football team at the request of one of his friends. It was just ridiculous.